at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Barricade. For the package, a lot like all of these Studio Series figures, you got the Transformers text along the side with the Generation logo. See, that D comes from the first Transformer movie, and then you got a nice image of Barricade in front of the open window that fully showcases the figure. Come around on the side, got an up-close image of him. He's number 28. Opposite side has that kind of classic-looking CGI image that we've seen of Barricade numerous times. Come around on the back of the package. Interestingly enough, they don't have any other product shots. You just have the official image of Ford in the Saline Mustang. You can also win a Ford, apparently. I don't know what's all that, but you can scan that to win. Anybody want to try it? Go for it. You do have a backdrop, which is of the police chase. Then you have an image of him in his robot and vehicle mode, and it says Barricade launches into a high-speed pursuit. Optics set on username LadiesMan217. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the new Studio Series Barricade open up and out of its packaging. And as always, starting off first with the display stand, you can see you got a nice image of that construction area where Bumblebee and Barricade battled. You got the platform with Transformers there, you got the Studio Series Transformers thing. One thing that'd be kind of cool with this, he doesn't come with a Frenzy figure, which kind of stinks, but you know, I get it. But it would have been cool if they had a little one painted in there or something. I think that would have been neat. But you got that on some nice cardboard. You can do whatever you want with it. And then taking a look at the figure, this guy's teeny. Now, I know all of these new Studio Series figures, a lot of people complain about the size and how they're running smaller than they would like. This one just feels extra small. Now, I guess that's just true because he was roughly the same size as Bumblebee, and he's a Saline Mustang, which really isn't that much bigger than a Camaro. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that he's small. But the detail on this guy is still really very, very nice. You got some silver up here with the little headlights and everything. You got some nice paint with the Decepticon logo, police to punish and enslave, 911. You got some painted on headlights here. You got Saline molded in there, which is nice. You come around the top, 643, police, you got a little red and blue light bar. All in all, I mean, it's a decent looking figure without a shadow of a doubt. And honestly, when you're talking deluxe figures, he's probably the best one that we've ever gotten. The most recent one would be the Last Night one, but you can see what I was talking about, how tiny this guy is. And what's interesting is, despite how small this guy is, it's a lot more well-engineered than this guy is. But you can see, obviously, he changed his look a little. I don't have that all the way down, but you get the idea. But he changed his look a little bit when he went into The Last Night. You got the blue color and everything. I like this one. This is a classic look. This guy didn't look bad in the movie, honestly. But this is just the best look for him. Really super cool. Now, first accessory, he does come with his little blade weapon. It's a softer rubber. There's some softer rubber parts in here, which kind of surprised me, to be honest. But this is a softer rubber material. You can see it bends and flexes. It also spins really very nicely. Woo, spinny spin. He does have weapon storage, I guess. You can't really go like this with it. You have to put it this way because it's sculpted that way here. If I come in, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You can see that it's sculpted with the little handle section here. So you plug that up and under. And then he has this, which is that kind of sort of thing that he almost sort of did in the movie where weird blades and stuff came out when he was confronting Sam Witwicky. Okay, we'll go with that. So there you have that. Overall, though, a solid looking toy without a doubt. Now, first transformation, it is a little bit tricky, especially going into his robot mode, because there are little tabs, you're not going to be able to see them, on the inside of this that lock in onto the side of his leg, which are almost impossible to see and get lined up, which sucks because it makes things difficult to kind of push together. I might shave those down because I really don't see much of a purpose in them because everything else kind of tabs in very nicely. But those little tabs are a bit of a pain. So to transform them, you just come around here. I'm going to loosen this up. Just kind of hinge that out. Kind of get that out of the way like that. And then really all you do is kind of start pulling everything apart. So you pull this apart, hinge this up, pull this apart. I've always talked about how transformations, usually that's one thing. This ball joint's a little bit loose. Transformations going one way are usually easier than going back the other way. This is definitely the easier one, but here is that little tab that I was talking about. It tabs in. You have to keep this leg like completely straight, but it tabs in there. But like I said, when you're doing it, you know, obviously I'll show you when I go back into vehicle mode when I transform them, but you keep that kind of like that, and you gotta bring this in and get that over there, and then you kind of have to look through here to see it, and it's really not easy to do. So just angle that up just like that. Take this section right here, you lift this up, it's on a little sliding section, then you can rotate that around underneath there. Come around here to these legs. We're just going to split these, keep these arms angled and out of the way. This little back section, you can bring this all the way back like that. It kind of is locked in together, and then you got little grooves right along the side here that goes all the way up, and it doesn't lock into, but it rests in there, which is nice. So you know where that's supposed to go. So put that there as well. And then extend these legs. You got that weird chicken leg thing going that you can play with. Kind of bend it, but you want to extend that for right now. I do kind of wish that this did lock into place, but it is what it is. Come around here to this section. This gets a little bit tricky. You need to lift this up. Pull this away, and this whole front section I talked about, like the rubber pieces, this is another piece that's all rubber. That's weird. So angle that back, and then again you lift this, pull this all the way back, and then this kind of is on a ball joint that you will rotate that around and put along that side. You had it like that, bring that all the way down. And again, a lot of stuff is weirdly tabbed, like some things tab in, some things don't. This, you have a double hinge, bring this back, and then this comes down and locks in here. Let's see if I can get that there. There we go. And then it just kind of sits there. Like you got a little nub right here and a little slot under there that it just rests in. So much like this, not locking into place but sitting there, there's a little sit-in place there. You bring these arms down, bring this head section up. These little bits right here are also little rubbery sections. Do these actually move? I want to say that they do because there's little pins in there, but I'm not going to play with them. But you got these little sections that are also rubbery. Come down here to these arms. The arms I really like. Take this, angle this up. You got a double hinge as well. Bring this piece up, and the door just kind of rests along the side here. I'll take the windshield, and no, that doesn't go all the way in. It just kind of folds in along the back right there. And then take this, open this, fold the hand out like so, and then fold this down and in like that. There you have his arm. Fold this, hinge this down, and then fold it up. Take the little windshield, fold that in, fold out the hand here. Come on. There you go. Fold this in like that. You can bend the elbow, bring this little headpiece up, kind of play with the feet some. Now, the instructions, not even the instructions, but when you get him out of the package, he's got his thing collapsed all the way down, his backpack. I think that looks a little bit ugly. I would hinge that up if I were you. So literally just kind of use that double hinge and just kind of bring that up like that. But when you're done, then take these little pieces here. You want to fold these. Oh, wait, do they go down? Yeah, they go down on both sides, and then they angle like that. Just like that. It creates a angry look on his chest. But when you're done, there you have Barricade in his still small, but pretty darn cool looking robot mode. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, despite being a very small figure, he actually has a pretty involved transformation that comes out really very good. I mean, definitely a smaller size figure, but for the most part, rivals what we got with like the Human Alliance one, and even to a slightly lesser degree, the Masterpiece one. This guy really did turn out great. Now, taking a look at his weapon, you can see that he holds it basically. It's a little handle sort of thing. You have the fingers here, which can open up just like so, and then they collapse in, and they also kind of tab in, and you can see it creates the little hole that he holds. That I wish it was a little bit better incorporated as it is. It literally just looks like his hand is holding it, which it's not bad. I just think it could be better. Now, coming in to take a closer look at his details, this guy definitely has that Bayformer look to it. I mean, that is an absolute gorgeous head sculpt, very alien looking, lots of color in there with some silver, gold. You got red for the eyes, a little bit of blue up here on the crest. All in all, really very nicely painted. You come down to the chest and you do have that very angry looking chest section there. I guess it really doesn't matter which way you do it, but really cool looking as it is there. I love that. I'm trying to see. I want to say that it's in robot mode, it's supposed to be more, or vehicle mode is supposed to be more up like that. So I think that the robot mode has it pushed down a little. I think I have that wrong. But I love how they have the angry looking grill there. Arms look terrific all the way throughout there. Some really nice detail in those little bits right there. The only thing that I think is it could be better would be like the color of the gray plastic. I wish there was some extra color in there, because you can see that with the bicep, with the hands, with the knee section. Come down to the legs, great looking detail with that. Like I said, you got the whole chicken leg thing, and it does have that very angular sort of Bayformer look to it, which, I mean, I don't mind it, honestly, all that much. I know some people really do, and like it or not, it is what it is. I don't mind it really all that much. I like that they're aliens, and they look like aliens. I dig that. I think that the G1 cartoon, for what it is great, but they don't look like aliens, honestly, to me. I think that there's a realism with the Bayformers that I do enjoy. Now, size-wise, like I said, he is pretty tiny. Bringing in that Deluxe Last Night one, you can see size isn't all that. I mean, he's definitely a bulkier figure, but I mean, there is a big size difference here. But again, it's very impressive to me that they packed so much engineering in this smaller figure than they did with this larger one. So, I mean, there is a kind of complaint about these guys and why they didn't get much more engineering in it. I want to bring in the other small figure, that being Jazz. I mean, you can see that they're roughly the same size, which honestly did surprise me to take a close look at them. I mean, they are roughly about the same. His head gets a little bit taller, but I mean, yeah, I mean, Jazz is still the smallest of them. Let's bring in Studio Series Bumblebee, the first movie, and this is a good size comparison between these two different characters. They look pretty good together. But again, it just kind of is striking just how small Jazz is. And then for some Decepticons, here we have them with Brawl and, of course, Starscream. Voyager class figure, so obviously considerably bigger than this guy, but scale-wise, I feel this is really pretty darn accurate, honestly. And just because this is the only movie version of Megatron in the Studio Series line that I have, here he is with that Revenge of the Fallen one. And again, there's a huge size difference. It's like twice the size here. First articulation, he's a very well articulated figure. The head here is on a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion there. It also does have this hinge that's a part of the transformation. You can bring it all the way up, kind of giving him a little bit of a collar there. That doesn't bother me that much. If you keep it down, his chin kind of gets in the way. So lifting it all the way up gets a better range of motion left and right. So it's up to you, personal preference. You do have a hinge here, which that's probably what this is attached to. That little hinge section is what that little pin is primarily for. I just thought maybe you could move those around. So you do have that little butterfly joint. You also do have an elbow joint at the shoulder itself, so you get a nice range of motion. The upper part of the bicep does have a rotation. This piece right here kind of does get in the way, but it decently goes around, so you can kind of mitigate that. He has a hinge here at the elbow, get a real nice deep curl with it. The hands, you can kind of move them in and out, but really not a lot. It's mostly meant for opening and closing his hand, so you do have some articulation in that. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately. That's all locked into place. The hips here do move forward and back. Those are on ball joints, and they also do, because the ball joint's pretty big, get a little bit of rotation up at the hip itself. There's nothing at the thigh, which is unfortunate, because you have to really rely on the rotation of those hips to get a decent pose with them. He does have those two joints here at the knee, so you can move that kind of however you want, and then the ankles move forward and back. They kind of already are slightly spread. You can see that keeping them spread like that is what kind of gets them on an angle, so you can get some decent poses with them. It's not a lot of dynamic poses, but like I said, when you're doing it, I do wish that you could rotate this a little bit more. It works okay, but I just feel like you could get a little bit better of some posing options if you had a cut up here. But it would probably make things difficult with that stupid little square peg hole on the side that you need to tab these doors into. But all in all, really a very, very nice figure. Now, to transform him back, come first to these arms. You want to take that section that you hinged up and hinge that down. Come down, lift up the windshield, and then collapse that along the front section of what will become his car. So just kind of push that in there, kind of straighten out that bit right there. You can come down to the inside here, rotate this piece. Oh, well, pull that part off. Rotate this piece down like that. Put this piece back on. If you detached it, it just has a little friction peggy in there. So you can just get it like that right back up. Yeah. You put it in there. Get it out. Get in your home. There we go. Just like that. Lift that up. Then collapse the fingers all the way down. You do want to make sure that you get a snap when you do it. So listen carefully. Hear that? That's good. Then rotate this piece all the way around towards the back and push that up just like that. Come to the other side. We're going to do that on the other side as well, and hopefully I'm not going to pop this up. So lift this. You then hinge this piece out and down, collapsing that there. Straighten that up. Come around here. Lift this up. Get the feet out of the way. Lift that up. Collapse the hand all the way down, and then push this all the way around just like so. Basically, you have his arms done. And come back a little bit here. Come down here to these legs. This part is going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. Let's just get these arms rotated kind of out of the way. This just comes down, and then this comes down as well. Don't fold that all the way up just yet. It makes it a little bit easier when you're trying to line everything up. Bring these legs together, though, and give that a nice little push. The tab section back here is a little bit stronger than the one up here. That's where most of the stuff is kind of held together. So bring that, and then you kind of angle these. These have to be up like so, and then hinge that down. So you want to make sure that this little slot, this little slot right here, that's what this tab right there is going to try and line up with. We're going to try it. We're going to try it, guys. So let's come down here to the chest section. We're going to angle that down, and that just pushes up like so. And then separate all this. pull this away from the body. This little piece right here, I'm going to hinge that out, rotate the top panel all the way around. And then, again, way to rotate this one around. That one is what comes over and kind of plugs things in on the roof. Hold off on that. Now, this part is, because of these little pieces that are rubber, you have to reach in here and kind of push these back to make sure that it gets underneath everything. So that's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Just kind of angle that back like that and then bring this over. Just make sure that those clear underneath this piece right here. Come around here to the front, take the head. You can take the head and push that all the way back, and then bring the hood and roof kind of into place. So bring that over, and then this little piece right here is going to just slot in between these sections. By getting that to tab in there, there we go. So now you have that collapsed in there proper. Again, this part here is it's a pain, honestly. So hinge this all the way back down like that. Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. There we go. Collapse that all the way up there. So get that out of the way. You can kind of see how it goes up in there. Then again, do your best to keep that straight. It's not easy. Then you bring this piece down, lining this all up, and see, it's like, and there's no real way to kind of help that along. You're just kind of looking through this tiny little section to see if you have it, and it's so close. So close. All right, let me try doing it with these legs not attached so I can get some leverage on the one side. And this is what I was talking about, that I feel like it doesn't need to be there. If that tab was shaved down, I might have actually got it. But then this doesn't collapse, and there we go. So I think I got it in there, but it seems incredibly pointless to have that tab there, because everything else locks together very nicely. Like these legs lock together really well. So I may do that on my own. All right, so now we're gonna bring this in, and again, try and doing it now on the opposite side when I can't really leave it open. And I hear Max going crazy, and I see it there. I kind of feel like it's right there, but it's so hard to see that there. But I think I got it in there. And then you want to take this section. This is going to rotate around and slot underneath here. Push that in, that pushes down. You got all this collapsed here, and then you can take this and you can bring this up, lock that into place, and it tabs in down here. So again, I don't feel like you necessarily need those tabs along the side, and it kind of feels like it pushes like the door here out a little bit. So this one I think I got just about perfect because it's pretty smooth. This one, though, you can see is sticking out. But when you're done, there you have Barricade back in his vehicle mode. Ultimately, though, another fine release by Hasbro in the Studio Series line. Even though, yes, he is a smaller figure, he is scaling beautifully with what they have already given us. So I am getting used to it. Vehicle mode wise, I love the way that it looks. Everything about it is wicked cool. And being a Saline Mustang is a perfect kind of adversary for Bumblebee as a Camaro. Transformation utilizes a lot of elements that we have seen kind of before. You know, the legs are fairly similar, the way that the arms are very similar. So you're going to feel used to this guy when you transform him for the first time. Speaking about the transformation, as I mentioned, I am really impressed that despite the fact that this is a smaller figure, it has more engineering in it than a lot of the larger Deluxe figures. That's pretty cool in my opinion. And then we get to a robot mode that looks really fantastic. For a Deluxe, it's definitely the best Barricade that I feel we've ever gotten. The only thing that I'm a little bit annoyed with is the transformation back into his vehicle mode. I feel like those tabs keep things just kind of out of alignment in a lot of aspects that, like I said, I'll probably just shave those down or cut them off entirely. But beyond that, this is a great figure, and without a doubt deserves to be detolfed with the rest of your movie figures. So, all that being said, if this version of Barricade is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now. So if you're looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's places such as Big Bad Toy Store. For that, I'll put a link down in the video description where you'll go to BBTS and you can check out availability on this guy as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support, guys, simply by hitting that little tiny thumbs up button. That one small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, I want to send a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. And a huge shout out to all of my patrons, who through their continued support, now more than ever, help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.